Hey guys, what's up? Aurelia here. This is a quick introduction to the Kor'kron Dark Shaman fight in Siege of Orgrimmar PTR. This is not a formal guide for the fight, it's just a quick introduction to how the fight is on PTR right now, and it might change before the fight is released on live. So the fight starts in a little tiny room in the throne room of Orgrimmar, but you can pull the bosses outside and actually fight them on the streets of Orgrimmar. As you can see, we're standing out here right now. You have a big area that you can fight them in, and you're definitely going to need that space because these mobs have tons and tons of abilities and tornadoes and slimes and things that you need to not get hit by, and it's a very chaotic and hectic fight, but also really fun. There's two bosses, and there are two wolves as well. Currently the wolves don't really add anything to the fight. They have like barely any HP at all, and they'll probably die in the first 20 seconds of the fight. The two bosses share health. Each of them has their own set of abilities as well, and as their health gets lower and lower, they put down totems which grant them new abilities. The totems can't be killed or outranged. So the first boss, Earthbreaker Haromm, he has his own three abilities. His first ability he gets is Toxic Mist. Now this is a really powerful dot which lasts for 30 seconds. It affects two targets, and as the dot ticks, it increases the nature damage those two targets take for the duration, so it starts to tick harder and harder and harder. And it actually is quite overtuned, actually, I think, and it does a lot of damage on the players affected, so that's the thing you're going to have to concentrate on a lot, is out-healing that dot. His next ability is Foul Stream. This is a fast casting ability which has around about a 60-yard range, and it creates this green line from him to the target. You need to be moved out the way before the line actually appears if you want to dodge it, and it does quite a lot of damage, but it won't one-shot you unless you've also got the Toxic Mist dot ticking at the same time. His next ability is Ashen Wall. This summons a wall of elementals, similar to the walls on Spirit Kings, except these ones don't move, and they last for quite a long time. If you stand next to the walls, the elementals will melee you, only around for 150k or so, and sometimes you can actually run through it, depending on how lucky you are. The next guy, Wavebinder Kardris, he's the other boss in this encounter. His first ability is Toxic Storm. This creates a storm, which you can see on screen here, these purple clouds. This deals 200,000 damage to players that stand in it every 2 seconds. The storm lasts for 1.5 minutes, and it creates tornadoes that move around the room. Now the tornadoes don't appear to follow any pattern or follow players, they just randomly move around the room, and they do a lot of damage if you touch them and also throw you up in the air. So you just have to move away from the storm when it appears. It's best to, whenever you cast the storm, is move the bosses quite far away from the storm so you don't have to worry about the tornadoes for a short while. Okay, so the next ability is Foul Geyser, and this is classed at the same time as Foul Stream. Now this creates a geyser that follows the tank for 8 seconds. The splashes deal 300,000 damage twice every second, and each splash will spawn a foul slime. Now when this happens, all the tank needs to do is basically kite the geyser around, just so that he doesn't get hit by it, and so that the ads spawn preferably in a line so that they can be easily AoE'd. The ads themselves, you'll probably get around 16 in total. They have a close range aura that deals around 100k damage per second, so when there's a lot stacked up, you'll pretty much get one shot. So you have to AoE them from far away before they reach you. Now they move really slowly, and they have only about 400,000 health, so they're really easy to kill. And in fact, some classes can actually solo the entire wave themselves without issue. Okay, his last ability, Falling Ash. Now this summons a massive meteor that very slowly falls down, has a huge red effect on the ground, you can't miss it. It takes a long time to hit, and if you're in the red effect when it finally does hit, you'll take around 1 million damage, and then the whole raid also get hits for around 200,000 damage at the same time. Now a lot of these abilities are very hard to see on low graphic settings, particularly the stock Toxic Storm and the Ashen Wall. This fight is mostly a massive clusterfuck, and they do have an enrage timer of around 9 minutes. Now, if you look in this video, we actually decided to keep the two bosses stacked up the whole fight for cleaving. Although, assuming the enrage timer isn't a problem, it would actually be a lot easier to drag Earthbinder Haromm really far away from your raid, preferably up here just towards the drag, with one tank and one healer, because that way your raid doesn't have to deal with the Ashen Wall, you don't have to deal with Foul Stream, and you don't have to deal with Toxic Mist being on players you don't want it to be on. Each boss does have an ability that it will just use on the one tank. Haromm will do a Frost Strike that deals 200,000 damage and increases frost damage taken, and the other one will do a cast that does 600,000 frost damage. All that means is that your tanks can't ever tank swap because of the frost damage increase, so just keep one tank on each ad for the entire fight. When they do get down to 30%, they start doing a lot more damage, so this is the point where you want to use Bloodlust and just really burn them down hard. You want to make sure you use all the space in the Orgrimmar area, preferably kiting them in a big circle, which is why we have these markers set up every time they spawn ads to move them around, and preferably have the other ad way tanked over there in the drag. Now the splashes from the geyser deal 300... What?
It's geyser.
It's geyser.
Okay.
Is it geyser?
Pretty sure it's geyser.
The
Look up on dictionary.com for the play thing.
Gee rhymes with key. A few people use the pronunciation guy. This is the usual pronunciation in the USA. Again, okay.
Sorry.
Right. Foul geyser. Geyser. Fuck, I did it again. Fuck!
Try again. You got this.
Is it geyser or geyser?
Geyser.
Foul geyser cast at the same time as foul stream. Oh wait, no, I'm actually supposed to introduce the ability. Okay, so the next ability is foul